Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands, and welcome to an SP Reacts, where today we have ourselves a track from an act named Eyes titled It's the One. And if we switch over to here, I'm not going to pretend that this is the first time that I reviewed Eyes work, but it's going to be great to check out more. I typically do enjoy my time with their music, and we're going to listen through the song from start till finish, and we're going to hear what we think. It's the one, let's go.
It's the one.
Really unique drum fill at the start. Whisper overdubs.
It's the one, be it good or bad, it won't work for you, and it left you blue, yeah. Never thought it would leave you like this, it did, and you believed in it, yeah. It's when God don't love you, yeah. It's when no one wants you back, no one wants you back. It's when he don't love you and he don't want you now.
That triplet drum fill does make sense now. There's some interesting sound design going on with the sounds of thunder and everything like that surrounding you in a stereo field.
It's the one that has your back. It wins. You believe in it, yeah. You see, I promise you things that you wouldn't believe. And you first in line of wasted time. Oh, you don't dig it. I sing my blues like I ain't nobody else, and it makes me blue, 'cause I don't concern you. Oh, you don't feel it, no. It's when God don't love you, yeah. It's when no one wants you back, no one wants you back.
So I want to comment on how it kind of sounds like a rainy day or like storm clouds or something like that. You got that Foley in there, and it's really neat. It's really interesting sound design. I did have to take a moment though to kind of figure out if it was like within the headphones or something outside. Like I literally looked outside to check the window just to see if there's something kind of going on outside, it's a mixed bag. I feel like I got a little bit distracted, but
When he don't love you and he don't want you now. It's the one that steals and fights, and baby it wins. It's constantly rewarded. Oh, you see it gets so lucky, like you wouldn't believe. And you next in line of committing suicide. Oh, you don't dig it. I write my songs like I ain't nobody else, and it makes me sad. No one even gives a damn. Oh, you don't dig it, no. It's when God don't love you, yeah. It's when no one wants you back, no one wants you back. No one. It's when he don't love you and he don't want you now. No, it's the one.
I mean, really compelling drum groove with the 16th note hi-hats there. And the piano is satisfying how it goes between those root notes in the upper hand and like switches along and modulates the bass line. But we're going to talk about this track more in the conclusion. And so welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Eyes titled It's the One. So first of all, what do we think this track is about? I think that this song is commenting on these clouds that form over top of Eyes when they do things in their life. Whether it's people that they're into or they want to sort of have partnerships or form relationships with, whether it's their own sort of music career, sort of looking, it's why there are the storm clouds as Foley within the piece, and it's a call and response between, when she is singing and sort of further elaborating. It's just really effective because it kind of, you look at the art up there, and you see the storm clouds, and it really does kind of sit, oh, that's the one. And I think that a lot of people who have lived with that storm cloud, having to deal with those lies presented to you as truths and having to sort of find your way through that, I think there'll be a lot of people who can relate to this. I think it's incredibly soulful, and it's actually done in a way where it's really authentic. Like, it's not sort of like over dramatizing it while still respecting the intensity of it. It seems like this is a really sort of terrible thing that Eyes has to deal with, as well as it should be. If you can't trust in it and it's kind of isolating you, it's pretty brutal. But ultimately, I feel that opening ourselves up as musicians and sharing that with our world is the best thing we can do, because it's always better than putting up a front. So I think that if my understanding of the song is correct, I feel like that's a really sort of interesting option here, and I like that we're looking at it from a wider perspective, that we're trying to sort of establish a lot of the things in our life, the interplay between, lying about having your back and all that kind of stuff. I feel like it's really important, and I wish them all the best of luck with their music, because I feel that this song was done really well. I think this is probably my favorite song from Eyes. It was one where it was a bit of a slow burn. I initially wasn't sure how I felt about it, but as I heard more of it, I began to appreciate its little intricacies. I think the first thing I'll talk about that was quite effective here is just the actual sound design. It's having all those different elements, those little key parts, the vocal takes, the sub layers, the storm foley, all of that kind of simmering in the stereo field around the headphones, being niched really eloquently within the frequency spectrum without any weird resonant frequencies. Also, with dynamic range there, things aren't the same loudness. And when you listen to it as a listener, you can kind of imagine being surrounded by these different voices and perspectives and everything like that. And some parts of the track are far more straightforward, with Eyes in the center of the stereo field, and others, things just going to go back and forwards. And it's an interesting dynamic or creative choice here, but I feel maybe it sort of represents what they're sort of going through with all the things and all the storm rumblings, and they're doing their best to put their foot on and sort of speak their truth. And I just think it's also all the variations. This is in addition to it. It's not just that we have these interesting textures and sounds. It's that we have varying rhythms for them. We're not just introducing something one way and not doing more to further articulate or kind of change things up. We just have so many bits of ear candy in here that do elevate it, because I just feel like you could have potentially have gotten away with a very somber performance with those drums and the keys and the bass there, but just all the other bits that I've spoken about up until now really make it special, and it's all the different ways that Eyes communicates as well. I also think it's the kind of raw way that we communicate on the microphone. So I think the vocals are recorded really neatly. It's great to hear someone that's very comfortable in their head and chest voice. They can express themselves, use a bit of legato and vibrato technique occasionally. They adjust the tails on some of their melodies and main lines. They're happy to sort of double track or harmonize. And like they know how to express themselves in a variety of different ways to get the point across. And I think that you need that level of attention to detail to be able to make a 3-minute track compelling, even with that not being super long, simply because of how people's attention spans are, especially if you're telling the story from your perspective. But it's just like how we also hang on some notes and make them a lot more kind of like heavy sounding than if we'd simply danced across them. We sit there and we almost like we're ruminating. And we repeat certain lines as well there. Like It's the One gets repeated, that hook line, and so you can immediately connect the title with what the track is about. It's just the little things, right? And then we know to sort of switch up the phrasing or stanza once we've had enough of it. It's that nuance of understanding how not to over-egg the pudding, so to speak. I think it is a final note, it's the maturity of the actual composition itself. So we have a track there with a really well fleshed out, thoughtful drum kit, the 16-note pattern with a sense of really like sweetness and flow to it that's not too overcompressed, that again has sort of changes in the intensity of the hi-hats, the drums, and the kicks and basses are prominent but not too much. And just knowing how to keep that faster rhythm in a song that isn't really that fast, if I'm honest. Just how to keep it subtle and not to overcomplicate it is very sort of important. And a lot of the rhythm is dictated by eyes on the microphone, though. You know, they'll accent certain parts or they'll highlight words there and create, again, that change in expression that you might get from the drums otherwise. But you know, the little flutters on the keys as well, and, you know, kind of going between octaves or going between fifths here, typically working around the minors, which makes sense considering the subject matter, you know, the minor key or minor triads. And there's like bell trees as well for little transitional effects and stuff like that. And it's also getting the note of the Stormfolio to match the key signature as well, which is a master stroke. And having little claps as well as an alternate percussive device to the snare was just really clever, you know, having it almost like people are kind of clapping along in solidarity, I suppose. And there's little instrumental breaks with alternate kind of like string melodies or something like that as well, just to sort of also give us a different lead pattern to eyes. You know, not that clearly I like listening to her voice, but it's also just great to, again, not take the listener's attention for granted. You need changing leads to keep a track sort of more engaging there. And again, it's just about having an alternate lead every once in a while there, just to have a different texture or tone on the lead thing, just to keep things more intriguing. And then you have this kind of like drum fills there with a sense of intricacy to them. And it's just the kind of way that they don't necessarily make sense kind of stumbling into it at first. But then as you get everything else surrounding it, they phrase, I think, better in terms of the meter, and it kind of all comes together. So ultimately, there's just so much to appreciate from an instrumental perspective. I'm really impressed with this. I don't think we could have really, I don't think we really needed to do much more than this. It's very, very good. That's not to talk about the studio production, which I'm really stoked with. The themes or the sort of the jazzy intonations, I'm just sort of trying to sort of stick to like a main few things in these sort of like feedback-based videos. But in terms of constructive critique, there is none. I just feel like this is another solid addition to Eyes' discography. I'm thankful that I had the opportunity to listen through it, because thank you for watching my review of this track from an act named Eyes titled It's the One. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show them some love via their various social medias and a Spotify page. Stay cool, stay safe. Please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next SB Reacts. Spiderhands out.